And behind me on my left is Captain Sean Layton. Captain Layton is the commander of the investigative division here at the Manchester Police Department, and he is leading all investigative matters for the police department. All right, I want to begin by thanking all of you for coming today. Your continued interest in locating 7-year-old Harmony Montgomery is appreciated and is essential to this investigation. As you know, more than 2 years has passed since Harmony was last seen. That puts us at a disadvantage, and the public's help is greatly needed. That being said, we are announcing today the creation of a dedicated tip line for this case. As you can see on the boards in front of me, that number is 603-203-6060. I say again, 603-203-6060. That phone number will be manned by one of our juvenile detectives 24/7. Tips can come in by phone or by text, either one. This will not be an extension that sends callers immediately to a voicemail. This will be monitored by a detective at all times so we can gather tips and act on them immediately. In addition to that phone number I just mentioned, the Manchester Crime Line is offering $2,500 reward, the most allowed through that organization for tips that lead to Harmony being found. Normally, Crime Line rewards are for information. I'd like to emphasize that the Crime Line has made an exception and has generously made that exception for this missing child case. Additionally, local businessmen Dick Anignos and Arthur Sullivan have also offered $10,000 for tips that lead to Harmony being found. I want to personally thank the Crime Line, Mr. Anignos and Mr. Sullivan for their generous actions on behalf of finding Harmony. I cannot emphasize enough how important any and all tips are. Even if you believe you saw this little girl a year ago or 2 years ago, please call in. Knowing where she was can help us narrow down where she is now. The Manchester Police Department is working with DCYF as well as the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in every effort to locate Harmony. That tip line again is 603-203-6060. And again, it can receive phone calls and text messages. Please share this information and utilize it. I'm appealing to everyone. Help us find this little girl. Someone knows something. Do what is right and call in. I cannot emphasize that enough. Somebody out there knows something. It's time for people to do the right thing. I cannot say it enough. I cannot emphasize it enough. Someone needs to call in, do the right thing, and provide us information on where Harmony may be. Again, that number is 603-203-6060. Help us find Harmony. To questions, but please understand I will not be discussing details of the investigation. But before I do that, I want to publicly thank Captain Sean Layton and his detectives that have been working around the clock, non-stop, on this investigation, and they will continue to do so until we bring this to the resolution that we all want, and that is locating Harmony.
Chief,
all right? Let me finish, please. Okay. So with that, I'll take a question.
Can you talk a little bit about the search that took place?
Yeah, we were at that address, and that was in connection with Harmony's case. Okay. What's important to note that the current homeowner, and I want to emphasize this, the current homeowner at that address has no involvement in this case, other than to say that homeowner is being extremely cooperative, and I ask that you respect her privacy and anybody's privacy that lives in that residence. Okay, they again, they are not involved in this investigation, other than the fact that they are cooperating and assisting us where they can. And I'll emphasize again, I understand that this case has generated a lot of interest, okay, and people in our community are generally concerned about this child's well-being, as are we, as are the police department and the community as a whole. But we ask people, don't play detective, okay? Don't play police officer. That is our job. That's the men and women's job that work under Captain Layton. People going on social media and circulating their opinions or their theories do nothing for the investigation and are no good and are no helpful in trying to locate Harmony. I ask that you leave that work to where it belongs, and it belongs to the Manchester Police Department. Any other questions?
Chief, can you explain, can you talk to the parents of Harmony? Where are they, and is it being helpful in finding her?
I'm not going to comment on who we've individually spoken to, other than tell you that we have spoken with many, many family members of Harmony, and we will continue to do so as part of the investigation.
Obvious that the parents
seems like an obvious. It seems like a reasonable conclusion to draw, Steve. Other than I'll reemphasize that we continue to communicate and speak with many, many family members, and I'll take you back to the fact that we're 2 years behind the power curve. All right, in where Harmony should have been. All right, and who she should have been with. She's not with them, and that's why we're doing this. Okay, and that's why I'll continue to hone in and emphasize, say something, people. All right, people out in the community. I don't care who you're affiliated with or who you associate with or what good you think you may be doing by not saying anything. It's time to be an adult, and it's time to remember that we're talking about a 7-year-old girl. And if that was your child, my child, their child, they would want somebody to do the right thing. So quite frankly, enough is enough. It's a 7-year-old girl. Let's find her. All right? Let's come together as a community and do the right thing. That's all I'm asking. And I don't think I'm asking a lot. If people think that I am, then I'll leave it at that.
In regards to the house on the west side,
Yeah.
Where she was last seen or anything, or have there been any prior calls in regards to anything involving a child there at that home? Or?
That address on the west side you're referring to? Yes. At one point, Harmony was seen at that address, and that's why we had some interest in it yesterday. And if we need to continue to have interest in that address, we will.
Have there been any prior calls in terms of any abuse of a child at that home?
I'm not going to get into the details of the calls for service that took place at that residence because I do not want to impede any part of the investigation. My guess is you understand that.
Thank you, Chief.
No.
Chief, where was she supposed to be over the last couple of years? In New Hampshire, Massachusetts, with father, with the mom?
Again, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not getting into the specifics of where she should have been or who she should have been with, other than to tell you that where she should have been and who she should have been with, she's not with those people, and she's not at that location.
Chief, are tips coming in, and if so, how many and
I just checked with one of Captain Lane's detectives before he came down. We're right around about 24, 25 calls that have come in, and Captain Layton's detectives simultaneously to conducting many other investigative matters. They're also diving into those tips as they come in, screening them out, determining the validity, and prioritizing those tips as they come in.
surprised at all at that number? I think it would. There's a lot of attention on this case right now. It seems like a lot, maybe. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a little low, but I think a lot of it has to do with we're us, you, the community, the public, we're 2 years behind, right? And that's why if we have to stand up here every day, and that's why I need your help and your peers in the room to get this picture out as far a net as we can cast, and let's see where it brings us.
Is there anything more you can say about the Massachusetts?
I'm not going to comment on that at this time. No.
Chief, I know that nothing's a guarantee, but based on your comments about, begging people to come forward and so forth, no matter what the conditions are, do you believe or do the police believe that she is alive?
Until somebody shows me something that she's not, we are in a mode, and I emphasized this morning. The two gentlemen behind me can testify to that. All right, I'm in rescue mode right now. All right, this is not a recovery. We are, all efforts are focused on that Harmony is alive, and we are going to do everything we can to find her in that condition. Until somebody shows me something that points that she's not, then that may change my attitude or my perception on this. But for now, we have to operate under the assumption that she is alive and well somewhere, and somebody knows something. So again, those that are listening to me or are tired of hearing my voice about this, too bad. Time to do the right thing and call in and start giving some legitimate information on where Harmony may be. Go ahead.
In the time that she was last seen in October,
Yep.
is that last
That October,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I do. That October 2019 timeframe is when Harmony was last seen in the city of Manchester. All right, and that was by a combination of the Manchester Police Department and some other entities as well. All right, so that's that October 2009 timeframe when she was last seen in the city of Manchester.
So it's possible that in that time since, she could have been somewhere else and well.
It's possible right now. Yep,
DCYF involved in this investigation, Chief?
they are. We're working with them.
What is their role?
They're assisting us with kind of the historical, if you will, on Harmony, and trying to they're actively involved with us in trying to locate her as well. Yes, yes.
These pictures are from 2 years ago. This is when she was 5.
Are these ones that were those are the most recent ones we got, correct? Yeah, those are the most recent ones we got from family members. All right.
Is that what you believe she still looks like?
We're talking 2 years, so it shouldn't be a drastic difference. I think the key thing to hone in on is the glasses. All right, and by all indications are that she does Harmony does have an issue with her eyes, so that's why we wanted to put the ones up with the glasses on.
Board is 10,000 total.
12,500 between Crime Line and Dick Anagnost and Arthur Sullivan. Dick and Arthur are both business owners here in the city of Manchester, and I spoke with them today, and they didn't even hesitate to do what they can do.
So he's just putting up 5,000.
That's accurate.
Are you able to go into any more specifics at all about which exact family members have been spoken to?
No, I'm not prepared to do that. Without doing so would compromise the investigation. I'm not going to even go near that.
Has there been any explanation as to why the child wasn't reported missing anytime earlier?
That's what we're trying to get to the bottom of. And like I said, on Friday, when the Manchester Police Department became aware of this last week, we immediately got on it. All right, and you were here and you heard what I said, right? We can't investigate something if we're not aware of it. And when we became aware of it, Captain Layton's people immediately got working on it and got moving, and they haven't stopped since.
Apologies, who brought it to your awareness?
DCYF.
DCYF.
That's correct. Yep.
You said that the parents, you don't know the parents, you don't know where she's been, and you think that she's alive. Where would she be right now?
That's what we're trying to find out, Steve. That's why I'm here. All right, that's part of the investigation. That's why his detectives are going in many different directions and many different angles, trying to find exactly where she is. And we can't stop until we find her alive. That's what I want. I'm sure that's what all of you want, right? And they're on it. All right, I have full faith in Captain Layton. This isn't his first investigation, unfortunately. All right, he knows what he's doing. His men and women know what they're doing. And I have all the faith in the world in them that they are going to do everything in their power to locate her.
When you just said DCYF brought it to your attention,
Mhm.
the tip from last week, the initial,
It wasn't a tip. It was brought to our attention by them.
that's what started this whole.
Exactly. Yep.
They've been investigating before police got involved.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Can you say what the nature of their call to you was? What did they say? Like,
Those type of calls are common here. Okay, we work with DCYF every day, on many matters related to children around this city. So for them to contact us in the manner in which they did is not abnormal. Those calls are received. Those notifications are made to us. Captain Layton's people review every single one of them. They screen them. They determine what needs to be prioritized, what needs to be looked at immediately, what can be followed up on the following day, or what further conversations have to take place with DCYF. This one, they prioritize as number one, and that's why we are where we're at.
A 2-year time frame is so troubling. I mean, if DCYF, if she's in the system and they're the ones who brought the information to MPD, be? How does 2 years go by before that agency flags it to law enforcement?
Sure, question. It's a question that I've asked. All right, that hopefully at some point along this I get an answer to. But like I said last week, I'm not going to, that's part of the investigation and getting an answer to that. But how we deal with that, I want to focus on locating her now and dedicating all of our efforts to that. And if there was some flaw in the system, I'm not saying there was, but if there was, where was it and how's it going to be addressed? Because that is a very fair question in my opinion, that hopefully we can get an answer to.
Chief can't help but notice that you're emotional at
Yeah.
the press conference.
Yeah. It's a 7-year-old girl that, he's got kids. You have children, all right? Many people in this room have children. Somewhere out there, this little girl is, in need of help. And that's our job, right? And I need your help on helping us to find her safe. So the next time, we meet, maybe I meet with some good news, all right? But he's got a room full of detectives upstairs, 30, 35 detectives up there that are running on nothing right now, but they'll continue to run on nothing because they know what's at stake. Yeah. That's the brutal reality of this job. So I'll leave it at that.
Jesus, one of the largest recent investigations in the last several years as far as the resources and things.
As you know, Jeff, we get a lot of critical incidents here in the city, and I think that puts us at I know that puts us at an advantage when it comes to investigative experience and utilizing resources and how to allocate people appropriately. This is not their first go around on a major case investigation. Does it take on a different tone? Does it take on a different vibe when it's a 7-year-old girl? Yeah, it does, and that's the reality of it. And that's not lost on Captain Lane's men and women by any stretch.
Is there some reason that the person who was last supposed to be in charge of this girl isn't in custody right now? That's an endangerment charge?
Again, it's a good question. It's a fair one, Scott, but I would be out of bounds if I commented on that right now. All right.
And for people hiding information from you, some people either way.
I don't think I don't know, right? But if you're sitting at home and you're watching this and you're listening, right? I'm sounding like a broken record, but I don't care. Like, people know something, right? Like most crimes that happen anywhere, people know something, all right? So say it. Say something, all right? Call the number we've offered, all right, that we've set up, this dedicated number. Call 911, call the crime line, call the business line, all right? Call this number and step up. Be a decent human being. All right? Just as you would want if it was your child, God forbid, or somebody else that's close to you. All right? And so no, do I think people are hiding anything? I know. I just think that this is this is Manchester, New Hampshire, and this is, a big city by New Hampshire standards, but it ain't that big. Okay? And there's pretty tight-knit community at the end of the day that people need to do the right thing. I don't think I'm asking a lot.
For those who have taken interest in the case and are posting on social media like you talked about earlier, what are some ways that they can do that appropriately, and what ways could that be helpful?
Call that number and let detectives handle it. Let the detectives do their job. All right. Putting things on social media. I'm not a big fan of social media. I'll be frank with you. All right. I think it has its purpose, but in terms of conducting police investigations on social media, it's not the purpose. All right.
Are people cooperating in the investigation?
Again, I'm not going to comment on who's cooperating or who who we've spoken to, other than say that many people, to include family members, are being spoken to, which is part of any investigation.
FBI is assisting you now, or some national law enforcement agencies, because they could be way beyond that.
We have a FBI representative that was part of our meeting this morning. Again, not simply from a resource standpoint. Should this investigation grow beyond, like you mentioned, then they're ready to go. They're filled in on the facts and the details and the circumstances of what we know now. We have a great partnership with FBI, have for a long time, and if needed, on a greater basis, they're ready to assist us. We good? I appreciate everybody's time. I'm not trying to sound difficult, but I appreciate your understanding. All right. Thank you very much.